Umpire right down there, Mike Everett's on the play.
What's going on, guys? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another Major League Baseball video. Today we are going to do something that is both fun and controversial, because if you're a Cubs fan, 16 years ago today, the Steve Bartman game happened. I cannot believe that of all days I choose to make this video, 16 years ago, Steve Bartman happened. So I'm going to ask you guys for a favor. Before we get into the video, if this one gets to 1,000 likes, I will dress up as Steve Bartman and I will do a video as him on Halloween. So 1,000 likes and we'll make that happen. We're going to go ahead and show 5 fan interferences that potentially changed baseball that day and baseball for the rest of history. So I hope that you guys do enjoy. If you do, make sure you slap a like on this one and subscribe, because we post baseball content every single day. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save $20 off. I think we have everything out the way. Let's get into it. The 5 fan interferences that changed baseball. The first instance I want to talk about, this one happened at Fenway Park. I still cannot believe that this happened. This for sure 100% happened. Roll it. Wait, what? Wait, that didn't actually happen? That's a movie? Fever Pitch? I never heard of it. Guys, I'm completely joking. Do not take that serious. The first instance we have to talk about does involve the Red Sox. But yeah, if you haven't seen the movie Fever Pitch, I highly recommend it. Definitely a top 10 baseball movie. Still to this day, this is widely considered one of the most debatable clips in baseball history, because 50% of you, literally, if you look on Twitter, 50% says, yes, that was fan interference. And then the other 50% says, no way, that was fan interference. It was too close.
Altuve, right field, back there. Bats at the track, he leaps, and it is out! And he gets stopped from catching it from the hand of the fan. To prevent a fielder from catching a ball, batsman should be called out, and out is the call.
So what I think needs to happen is all of the baseball stadiums, they need to do what Citizens Bank Park does, is they have a flower bed about this far from the stands to the actual wall. So things like this, like watching the game yesterday with the Yankees and the Astros, just kind of shows me, like, you can't have Yankee Stadium, you can't have a Minute Maid Park where you have the wall and then fans separating a player. Like, that can't happen anymore. So guys, in the comment section down below, I want you to let me know, do you agree with me that I think that there should be some space between the fence and the fans, or do you think that they should keep the stadiums the same way and just to, you know, honor the tradition of those baseball parks? I just don't think that's smart to me, because then you get Mookie Betts versus Jose Altuve versus all of the baseball world. It's just crazy. We have a few more fan interferences that completely changed baseball, but before we do that, I want to kind of throw you guys a curveball. So this one I don't think changed the impact of a game, aside from it being completely canceled. If we take a look at my notes, the Rangers versus the Indians back on June 4th of 1974, so this was a good while ago, they had 10-cent beer night. If we did that nowadays, there would be fights all over the place, and that's exactly what happened. In 1974, the Rangers versus the Indians hosted 10-cent beer night, and over 9 fans were arrested that day. And it's just, it goes to show you that when you give baseball fans who are already hyped up that they're playing a pretty intense game, and then you give them pretty much free alcohol, bad things are going to happen. It is a recipe for disaster. So if you've never seen this clip, here you go. 10-cent beer night in full effect.
One of the Indians players, Tom Hilgendorf, got hit with a piece of a chair.
Oh, this is absolute tragedy. I have never seen anything as disgusting as this.
If you are a Baltimore Orioles fan or a Chicago Cubs fan, I am going to give you a slight warning that you might want to plug your ears, because really, in my opinion, that Mookie Betts fan interference, that was pretty bad. But the Derek Jeter home run and the Steve Bartman fan interference, these will never be forgotten. We're going to go ahead and talk about the Derek Jeter home run in the playoffs first. Derek Jeter hit a ball to right field. Yankee Stadium is already a short porch, so they get that advantage. And then you have a 12-year-old in the stands. What was this kid's name? Jeffrey Meyer. He robbed the outfielder of catching that. I don't care what you guys say. The evidence is there. If replay was installed back in 1996, this would have 100% been called fan interference. But instead, the Orioles, with a little bit of bad luck, this happens.
In right field, Tarasco going back to the track, to the wall. And And what happens here? He contends that a fan reaches up and touches it.
Then it's not allowed. You're not allowed to touch it, and you can see that ball is touched right there.
Jeff, you stuck your mitt over, caught the ball. It's the difference in the game right now.
Wow, it's pretty unbelievable, and I didn't think it would ever happen to me.
I know a lot of you guys watching right now are fans of the New York Yankees, so I don't want you to be biased. I want you to give me your baseball opinion. Do you think that Derek Jeter deserved that home run, or do you think that, you know, it would have gone out either way? Because if you're not going to be truthful, I'm not sure what we're doing here. All right, so now we're getting to the point of the video. Oh my gosh. 16 years ago, on the day that I'm recording this, October 14th, Steve Bartman changed. Well, honestly, it's kind of a scapegoat incident because there's a phrase in baseball called the ball never lies. So for example, yesterday, Gary Sanchez, he swung at a pitch and it was called a foul ball, even though he was nowhere close to fouling it off. The next pitch, he struck out, so the ball never lies. If it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen. So the Chicago Cubs, even though Steve Bartman interfered with that ball, I still think that the Cubs lose that series. That might be complete baseball blasphemy. All you Cubs fans might be saying,
you're just a salty Indians fan.
I promise you I'm not. I just believe in the ball never lies. So even if Steve Bartman doesn't interfere, I think the Cubs still lose.
Again in the air, down the left field line. Alou reaching into the stands and couldn't get it, and he's livid with a fan.
Actually, now that I think about it, maybe they win because the Marlins, they went on a run after that. I don't know. Maybe I need your help. Do the Cubs win a World Series or at least go to the World Series if Steve Bartman didn't exist? Does that happen? Now, if you guys want a quick update on what happened to Steve Bartman after that incident, because I was actually going to make a full dedicated video, but then I thought to myself, there's probably other fans that have changed the course of baseball history aside from Steve Bartman, so I'm not going to just single him out. But after he interfered with Moises Alou out in left field, he pretty much had to become a recluse. He almost wanted to change his name. His family was harassed. And then, of course, in 2016, after the Chicago Cubs came back to beat the Indians, the Cubs gifted Steve Bartman with a World Series ring. So that's kind of like a full circle moment. I think everyone has forgiven Steve Bartman, or maybe some of you guys haven't, but for the most part, that was the biggest fan interference moment in sports history. So if you guys have kept track, we've talked about 4 fan interferences that have really shaped the course of baseball history, whether it's having more protection down the lines or anything like that. We'll also talk about how even after all that stuff has happened, there's still some crazy fan interferences that are happening on the field. Cody Bellinger was hugged twice in the span of 1 week, absolutely crazy. But the 5th and final, most important, at least in my opinion, was Rick Monday back on May 4th, 1976. Protesters, they were able to get onto the field and they were about to burn the American flag, but Rick Monday said, nope, that's not happening. We're standing up for America, and that's exactly what happened. I'm not sure if that was his thought process, but Rick Monday, he became a baseball legend. He will be talked about for the rest of forever.
Sure what he's doing out there. It looks like he's going to burn a flag, and Rick Monday runs and takes it away from him. And so Monday, I think a guy was going to set fire to the American flag. Can you imagine that?
Alright guys, well that is going to do it for the 5 most infamous fan interferences in baseball history, but do not go anywhere because we still have a few more that I think were kind of funny. The first one, I already kind of brought it up, is the fact that Cody Bellinger, in the span of 1 week, fans were able to get onto the field and hug him. So first it was a middle school girl, and then everyone thought to themselves, wow, I can hug Cody Bellinger if I just hop the fence. So it happened a second time in Arizona. If you're watching this right now, if you're thinking about storming the field, just don't do it because you're going to get arrested and you're going to have a criminal record. Next up, we have a pretty funny one. We have Adrian Gonzalez up against a man holding a baby. So I'm not even sure if I have to really say anything else. Gonzalez, a Gold Glover, versus a barehanded father with a child in his hand. Let's see who wins.
Between innings.
To the right side, Adrian Gonzalez leans in and over and can't hang on.
That Wrigley, the pass last year, you couldn't review it like that. You had that reaction.
He's out.
And what morning show will Dad be on tomorrow?
All of them.
Yep.
And then last but not least, I remember covering this a year ago when this happened. Giancarlo Stanton homered over the monster in left field at Fenway Park. A fan who caught the ball chucked it and actually hit Giancarlo Stanton when he was throwing it back onto the field, because it's pretty much baseball tradition that if you catch an opposing team's home run, you throw it back. But usually you throw it in center field or somewhere not close to the guy that just hit the home run. This is still crazy to me that this happened. Alright guys, well that is going to do it for today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure that you slap a like on this one and subscribe. Also, if I forgot any fan interferences that you thought were pretty crazy, there was one incident where a father and a son beat up a first base coach, but I couldn't show that because I saw in the video that it was age restricted, so I didn't want to get demonetized or anything like that. But if you want to go search for some fan interferences and then let me know in the comment section down below, that'd be awesome. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you for a second video later today. Peace out.